gentlemen, and welcome to the What the What podcast. That was really we are your hosts, Eric and Kyle.
Yeah.
I did not set it up with the joining me today.
I thought about doing it today. I thought about jumping in and being like, joining me today.
Well, here's the thing. I took my script here from the last music one we did, and I didn't change any of the lines in the beginning. So it says now that he's done asking, Delilah, what was it like in New York City?
That's not on this list.
It's not on my list either. So
Kevin Zvinga says, yo, yo, yo! Because he's a hardcore listener. He's been listening since day one. He knows.
Only because I would worry the crap out of him if he didn't. I mean,
and look, we didn't even tell him about bye. He's all about the.
Is he leaving? Oh, okay.
I think he's just getting into the mood for today's episode.
Yeah, I don't think I told him what today's topic was.
Oh, he's gonna know. Don't you worry.
Oh, he'll know. I mean, he will know.
Oh, you didn't know?
Your camera, I don't know. It's really in depth. You can tell I haven't shaved today.
Oh, well, I haven't shaved either. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah. Fun times today. I thought about something today.
Okay.
At first it was a great idea, and then I realized it wasn't such a great idea.
Right.
It was like whenever you have kids someday, you can name them, all of them could have their middle name, Von. So all of your kids' names would be something Von Eric. Then I was like, Eric's not his last name.
Eric's not my last
Creech.
name.
So Von Creech wouldn't work. Unless you want to name them Von Eric Creech, like all of them. Von Eric. And then Von Eric Creech 1, Von Eric Creech 2.
No.
And then you could have your own Von Erics.
No.
I was watching YouTube today on wrestling stuff, and the Von Erics came up, and that's what made me think about it.
No, that's
So we got Lauren and Jonathan, they're all joining in. Folks, if you are just joining us at home, we're doing Facebook Live to do the podcast episode. Eric's trying to take a picture over here. We've got cameras and stuff happening everywhere, where you guys are on an iPad over here. YouTube's on this one in front of us. Eric's taking pictures over there.
Just some selfies.
This other computer's actually recording all of the podcast stuff, so you can listen to it on Monday. But yeah, so fun times over here.
Yep.
We got the Von Erics.
Von Erics. And
Von Eric.
We have, was there any famous Whitleys in?
Well, Whitley Holt won the
She did win
the
Yeah.
But I don't know if that counts.
I don't think it counts.
There's got to be a famous Kyle somewhere. Derek Kyle. He died.
I don't know.
Didn't he? That was his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, the baseball player that I kept in all that fantasy baseball league that time.
I don't know.
I'm sure that was his name.
I remember winning that league 2 years in a row and never changing my lineup because I don't think anyone changed their lineup. So,
that was the only year I played.
Yeah.
So my outfielder passed away that year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
It's okay. It was out of honor for him.
Yeah. But the only Kyle I know, let's do the hand thing again.
Well, Becky just got in. She needed to see.
She needs to see the hand thing.
They were pumping up the jam.
The only, whenever I think of Kyle, I think of Boy Meets World. And the main character, or one of the main characters, the brother, Eric.
Okay.
He says, so I was telling myself, Kyle. They're like, Kyle? He's like, yeah, that's what I call myself.
So we're tag team mates.
So
from Boy Meets World history. Have you seen his Instagram posts lately?
He's doing some Plays with Scroll stuff with the, to kind of I guess, cheer people up with the COVID-19 coronavirus mess. So
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
He's got the full wig, the beard, everything.
Mr. Squirrels.
Yes, Mr. Squirrels is
Eric Plays with.
Yes. So if you're not following that, check him out on Instagram. He is doing his full character, not full time, but he's doing it just to do something cool. I will say that's something I really enjoyed about this whole virus thing. Sure, I'm not enjoying the virus.
Not enjoying the virus and the effects that come with it, but there are a lot of really cool things coming out.
Yes, there's a lot of famous musicians that are putting out live concerts, like in-home type concert or smaller type field ones.
We did that.
We're not famous.
We're not famous, but we did that.
And we're probably doing it Tuesday.
Yes.
So that's okay.
John Foreman from Switchfoot has posted an acoustic song played just by him every night since last Monday or last Sunday. Last night was Your Love Is Strong. The night before was 24. He's done Hope Is the Anthem. He's done, oh my goodness, Joy Invincible was a song from one of his Switchfoot's new album. And I had never heard it, and it was so beautiful. I mean, and that's something really cool. Ren Collective has been putting on a concert 2 or 3 times a week, and I think they do it twice daily. One for their crowd back in the United Kingdom, Ireland area, and one for like America. And that's kind of what inspired me in a sense to like get with you and be like, hey, let's do some music for the folks at home. And
nice.
So yeah, Lauren Daigle, she started a new podcast.
Oh yeah?
You know what it's called? It just kills me. I love it.
What is this?
It's called Daigle Bites.
Oh, that's good.
And the logo is like a bagel with a little bite.
That's good.
And it is releasing every Tuesday. And I listened to the first one yesterday, and it was really good. It was just like 20 minutes of just like some Q&A and like different topics and whatever. But it's, it's really cool. Daigle's pretty awesome.
If that name doesn't work out, I think the Daigle Bugle would work out well.
The Daigle Bugle would be great.
Bugle, where she does like news updates.
Well, she liked one of my tweets last week, so I feel like
So you're pretty much famous now.
We're pretty much best friends at this point.
And then
Lauren Daigle. I mean, so I'm pretty much well connected with the.
I don't even know if I'm, honored enough to sit beside you.
Honestly, we will have to talk about this. I mean, we're already breaking guidelines from the federal government and the CDC doing this, so we probably need to do some social.
Because they're going to come busting in.
Tell them to bust on in here. So.
Also, if you hear some random scream throughout this podcast episode, Rickie's
going to be on the roof.
Trying to get limbs off.
If Rickie falls off the roof, we may have to abandon the podcast, and go check on him.
Well, it depends how many people are watching. If a lot of people watching, we can't stop.
Well, we'll send one person to go check on him, because he doesn't need both of us.
That's true. We told him if he fell off the roof to scream real loud.
And to try to fall over, here's my hand.
The front of the house.
The front of the house is over here.
That way we could hear him.
And that way we can hear him. And if we open the blind here, we could probably see him too.
I feel like that'd be an episode of Home Improvement where you just see Tim falling.
It's literally the plot of the Santa Claus. So
that's true.
That's what I was thinking. If you see any guys in red, and black beard, or just try not to push him off the roof because that's Santa. So.
Well, if I walk outside and Rickie's out there, I'm not putting my pants on. So no worries, I'm not going to be the new Santa Claus.
So yeah.
But yeah, why are we here today? Why are we here?
So I had this idea. We weren't sure how long the Disney Pixar March Madness Bracket Challenge would go on, week-wise. We knew we would get 2 episodes out of it. We weren't sure if we'd get 3 episodes out of it.
Yeah.
So we had an open spot. Mm-hmm. And I, really enjoyed the episode we did last month on love songs.
That was a good one.
And then next month we're doing Disney songs, which is going to be an all-timer. We might not even do a 5 and 5. We might just do a 10 together because I feel like we're going to have a lot of the same songs.
And I feel like, too, we don't want to get too specific so that when we do the Disney song bracket, we haven't already spoiled what our ranks
Exactly. So we might just do, instead of best Disney songs, we might just do notable Disney songs or something. Maybe we pick 1 or 2 from each movie.
That'd work.
And not all 5 from The Lion King and Aladdin like I want to. Mm-hmm. But, so anyway, back on topic. I thought of this great topic where, sometimes there's songs that you really, really like, but you're kind of ashamed to admit it. And so I call that guilty pleasure songs. And this is more, I guess when we were younger, it was not cool to like the boy bands.
I feel like a lot of mine come from when we're younger.
Some of mine do. And some of mine come from earlier in teaching where... I'd have these students who were elementary school, and they would love some of the current artists, and it wouldn't be considered cool for me to enjoy it.
Sure.
But there are some that are they're bangers in my opinion. They're really, really awesome songs, and so we're going to get over our shyness and over our shame.
I ain't scared.
Well, we're not scared anymore.
I ain't scared.
And we are going to talk about our favorite guilty pleasure songs today with this episode. But before we do that, and you see how I didn't have any of that typed up, but I got right back on track on my script here. Before we do that, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this podcast on many of the most popular platforms in the podcasting media world. We are on Apple Podcast. Maybe you've ever heard of that.
That's one.
We are on Spotify. You're not doing the same joke you did last week, are you?
I'm just counting.
Spotify, Google Play, we're on Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, Overcast, Castro, Pocket Cast, Podcast Addict, Radio Public. We are on iHeartRadio. Make sure you search for What the What Media, all one word. And please rate and review us 5
5
stars.
stars.
How many stars?
5.
5 stars. That's one less number than you need to keep your social distancing from.
Yes. Even if you hate us, if you're like, this was the worst thing I ever did,
and it may be the worst thing you've ever seen or heard before.
Even if you're like, I much would prefer to be sitting at a Nickelback concert right now.
Whoa!
First off, that's insulting.
That is a little insulting.
I'm okay with it. If you want to spend your time doing that, guilty pleasures or not, whatever. But 5 stars while you head on out of the way.
Absolutely. Also, while you're at it, while you're rating and reviewing us 5 stars and telling us how bad we are, go ahead and follow us on our social media accounts. We are on Twitter at WTW_media. Since I'm rejoining the Twitter world, I probably should start updating that now.
You should, because I'm not good at Twitter.
No, you're not. Or you're not good at trying to be good on Twitter. And then we're also on Facebook and Instagram at, again, what media?
All one word. That's one.
This episode is on Facebook Live now, and we will also be on YouTube on Monday. That's you guys over here. Once we get to 100 subscribers, we can apply for that custom URL. We're at 35 subscribers.
That's better.
That's a lot better than...
That's 35 times better than what it was at the beginning.
Exactly.
Be
so
positive.
Please make sure you subscribe when you see us posting about our YouTube channel. I was told that like 4 or 5 of those accounts are Kevin Savigny. Like, he has all these different Gmail accounts.
If he wants to make up...
he is 1/7 of our subscriber base.
If he wants to make up 70 more email addresses, then we'll be ready.
Yeah, Tim says, let's not get crazy here, Kyle. I think that's referring to your Nickelback concert.
You better watch it. I think we can only say that band name at least, 2 times max.
Tim, by the way, we have some... we have a job for you for next week's episode, by the way. Some research for you. So stay tuned. We'll get up with you.
I don't even know about that, too.
Well, we'll talk about it in this, at the end. Also, one more thing. If you like this episode, I went back and counted. Last week I was off by 1. We have 39 previous episodes. Last episode.
So this is the Big 4-0.
So, no, last episode was the Big 4-0.
Oh.
If you like this episode or any of the 40 other What the What podcast episodes, then we have another request. We are trying to grow this show, get more listeners, get more viewers, and we need your help if you like this show. We would ask that you please share this episode with at least one friend. Tag us on social media. Share it right now, actually. That'd be great.
You can share us on your Facebook. I'm amazed at how many times you've said one.
One.
Tonight. Like, one.
It's like a dream come true.
2.
That's not what we're doing. We did that last month.
That song doesn't get old.
So tag us on social media. If that's where you end up sharing it, we'll give you and the person you shared it with a shout out the next time we record, which at this rate is every week until they give us the shelter in place order. And then we'll probably Zoom it.
We'll have to do something.
We'll do something, yeah.
If the state's going to arrest us for trying to get together and do a podcast.
I don't know. Can we claim that we're checking on one of our friends, Rickie, who may have fallen off? Yeah.
He's elderly.
He's a 58-year-old man. I mean, he's ticked off most of the time, so we probably need to check on him.
Yeah. And he's on the roof, so who knows what's going on.
That's right.
And we're here, so who knows
we are here
when we're not here.
So, anyway, today's episode is Guilty Pleasure Songs. We're doing 5 each. Please take it away, Kyle, with your first entry onto the list.
I will say, I had to look up the word guilty pleasure. It just didn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right, no, but...
I Googled it. And turns out that is what this is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the first time I actually heard the phrase. I feel like it was, like on a wrestling, message board or something. They had, guilty pleasure wrestlers that you, that it probably wasn't cool to like, but you liked them anyway.
Like Disco Inferno?
Yeah, that's the first guy I was going to say. I probably shouldn't have liked Disco Inferno, but I enjoyed Disco Inferno.
Flashy pants.
The Godfather was someone that wasn't a great wrestler, but I enjoyed watching him.
We know why.
No, that's not why at all. That's not why at all. He had this cool music and the colorful outfits and
the hat.
And the hat,
we can't wear those.
No, we can't. So I think that's the first time I ever heard that term being thrown around as something that you shouldn't be proud of that you like, but you still kind of like it secretly anyway.
Okay.
So, So Guilty Pleasure Song. Are you going to sing yours?
I don't know.
I'm going to sing mine. I'm just heads up, Facebook and YouTube world, and podcasting world, because that's what we are. There's going to be some music today. And
it's probably not going to be sung well.
Probably not, because 3 of my entries are female artists, and I can't match their tone very well.
I've heard you get up there.
Oh, I can get up there, but it doesn't mean it sounds good.
Well, I mean, usually the worse it sounds, the funnier it is.
True.
If you're confident in sounding bad. So if you're going to sound bad,
there is some truth in that, because I don't know if you heard the other night when we were right before we were going to go on. I was on the piano and I was singing this Switchfoot Lauren Daigle song, which I actually mentioned last month called "I Won't Let You Go," and it's one I kind of want to do for the Tuesday night thing if we can get like Jenny in there to sing the Lauren Daigle part, and. But I was singing the Switchfoot part, which is super, super high, but I felt confident and I felt like it sounded pretty good.
I was using the restroom.
Yes, you were.
So I don't know.
Anyway,
you ready?
Yep.
You ready?
Number one.
How's the song start? Oh, baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby. How was I supposed to know that something wasn't right? Yeah, that's it. Oh, baby, baby, hit me one more time, or baby one more time. Sorry. Britney Spears.
Yes.
I was in 6th grade. I remember, and I think I may have shared part of the story before, but I was with my mom at like a Rose's, or I know it was in like the Wilson Mall, but it was at like a drugstore type thing. And they had the single sitting up at the counter when we were checking out. And I remember seeing her music video being like, oh man, that sounds cool. And she's really pretty. I'm going to buy this. So I bought it. It's $15.
For the single?
For the single.
Yes.
That had some other band. Like it had maybe one other song and then 2 songs from like a boy band that didn't make it, like not NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. They weren't either one of those.
98 Degrees? O-Town?
It may have been O-Town.
I don't know. Was O-Town out by then? I don't think they started coming around until the early 2000s.
It wasn't popular. It wasn't like great or well known. It was some small, like you could tell, like if she was on tour, they were probably opening like the side stage.
Yeah.
Not even on her stage.
Gotcha.
So that's what it was.
I've got an O-Town reference later. Anyway, keep going.
So I remember going to school, and TRL was a big thing.
Yes, Total Request Live. Something I never really got to experience because,
I never, like, these things you don't. I always just assume you had these experiences.
I didn't have. I mean, I would go to a friend's house after school every now and then, and I would get to experience with them because it came on at 4 o'clock every afternoon.
Yeah, it's time for you to get home, kind of get settled, and then turn it on MTV. And
but by
by
middle school age, I would, if it was in the summertime, I was cutting grass with Dad, so I would go cut grass with him instead of going to watch TRL.
You should have woke up early, cut the grass, been home in time for TRL.
Yeah,
or at least called in. Either way, TRL was a big deal. I remember sitting in class with Michael Thompson and some other people, and they were talking about how we had to get home and vote. Because,
this is pre-American Idol.
Yes. You didn't vote for anything else. You had to call in. You couldn't text. You didn't go to a website. You called in, and you had to pay for, like, the fee or whatever, if there was one. And the more people that voted, the more that the song went up the charts. And it was a chart every week, 10-1, to see who was going to win. They didn't really win anything. They just were number 1 on the chart for Total Request Live.
It was basically big advertisement for them so they could sell more albums.
Yes.
So
and I feel like too, the closer that they got to the number 1, the more the video they actually played. Versus some of them, they only played a couple seconds skip run on because they didn't play the entire music video. It was just parts of it.
Right.
But I remember, Michael and them talking about we got to get home and vote because like the number of people, like top people back then, NSYNC, 98 Degrees. Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
We got to get Papa Roach up there.
We got to get home and vote. Limp Bizkit and Korn.
Limp Bizkit, that's okay.
You got to get Limp Bizkit and Korn up to the top of the list. And so I remember, oh yeah, we're gonna get home, we're gonna vote for that, and I was so excited. And then I'd get home and call in and vote for Britney Spears because I was once again it was a full blown guilty pleasure where I didn't want them to know I was voting for Britney Spears, and I was all about we're going to get Korn and Limp Bizkit to the top of that list, and then I'd go home and vote for Britney Spears.
Wow.
So sorry, Michael, I'm telling you now. That's
you broke the code.
That's why they didn't make the top of the charts. But I'm not afraid to vote for her now, but it's a little late. But I did that, and then I remember even in college I had that single, and Will Howard and I were riding around. We just left his house. And we were in my car, and this was back before, maybe you had an iPad or not, you had an iPod, but you didn't have like a connection to your car. You still had the giant booklet of CDs. And I remember I was like, watch this. And then I put that single in and started playing it. And I was kind of laughing like, ha. And then 15 seconds in, Will goes, hits the eject button, grabs it, and throws it out the window. No. So that CD ended up on the side of 39 Highway somewhere.
Wow.
So it's probably not there anymore because, probably almost close to 15
We cut a few yards on 39 Highway. I probably ran over.
Probably cut up
So,
Britney Spears single that I paid $15 for in the 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that first album of hers, I don't know if you remember Jerry and Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him were really, really good friends. I'd go over to his house on the weekends. We shoot ball and we'd hang out. And we would trade CDs every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, you can borrow anything of mine. I just really want to borrow, I think it might have either been the Space Jam album or it might have been my Eagles or something.
Space Jam is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Well, yeah, and I was like, no, you can't borrow Space Jam. That's still a jam. But he ended up borrowing something. Like, I brought a bunch of all my CDs. And he's like, just borrow whatever you want to and just bring it back. I borrowed 2 CDs. I don't remember what the first one was, but I snuck the Britney Spears CD. So I could
It's
listen
funny
to
that
it.
you're stealing it from him and sneaking it. So first off, he's put it out there.
Yeah.
It's like, here's my CDs. I know that's in there. There's a chance you might see this.
And
instead of you being like, oh man, I'm surprised you like this. I actually like it too. But you're like, no, I better steal this. I really want it.
Well,
Can't let him.
I felt like my reaction was justified when I returned. He's like, oh, I didn't even know I still had this one. I thought I threw it away.
Well, that's what he said. And you know why?
But that's what he's saying.
He said that because of the fact that you didn't even talk about taking it.
That's right.
So he's like, oh no, he knows. I don't know whose CD. That was probably my,
But I remember really,
brother Matt's CD.
really loving that album. I think Soda Pop was the 4th song on the album, which was just really catchy. I remember back then I still had like this musician's heart. Like I just, really liked singing along with songs. So I would belt out the Sometimes I Run, Sometimes I Hide. Sometimes I'm scared. Anyway,
yeah.
So there's that. And then a couple of years later, as I want to say I was 14, might have been 15, we went to church camp, which was at Cragmont. That was in the mountains, yep. And we would get on this big bus, and we would stop at the Greensboro food court at the mall.
I remember that too.
And while we were there, had a chance to go to, I guess, like FYE or some CD store. Mm-hmm. This was a chance for me to buy music without my parents like over my shoulder.
That's a perfect place to buy parental advisory CDs.
Exactly.
While you're away on church camp.
So while I was there, I bought the Eminem album. Okay, I think it was the Marshall Mathers LP. I bought the Nelly Hot in Here album. I think was it titled Pimp Juice or I know that was one of the songs on the album. I also bought the first the Country Grammar album because I didn't. I had the Walmart version, which was the the edited where they edited everything, and it was not the same song. And then I also bought the new Britney Spears album that was the Oops, I Did It Again. Mm-hmm. And but I hid it from everybody. And I would just listen to it in private. I had a big crush on Britney Spears. I thought she was an excellent singer. I did not like any of her stuff post Oops, I Did It Again. I think Toxic was a pretty good song, but that third album, Beyond, I just wasn't a big fan. So
at that point, I was listening to Limp Bizkit and voting for them on TRL.
On that same summer, I got Metallica and AC/DC were really fully introduced to me, and I kind of really enjoyed their stuff too.
Well, that summer that I went, Mitchell Peden introduced me to White Pony from the Deftones. He sat down and said, "You got to listen to this." And so whenever I was at church camp, I listened to the Deftones.
Very
got into them.
For some reason, I thought you said Mitchell Thompson. Like, wait a minute, Mitchell
Peden.
But Mitchell Peden's a little, he's around our age. So
yeah.
All right. So
number one for you.
Number one for me. This is the song that kind of started the idea. So just join in on the chorus if you would,
okay?
Because you know it.
For following along on the YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook Live. Feel free to chat or type the lyrics in.
You are my fire, the one.
There's that one again.
Desire. When I say I want it that way, tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never want to hear you say I want it that way. Yes, I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
I love how Jared Mangera just tuned in along with some other people.
What's up?
They're like, what are they doing?
Oh, we have a lot of people just joining and they're watching us belt out the Backstreet Boys.
Hey, that's fine.
That's cool. That's the whole point of this.
So
my first song is the Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way, and it was just really, really catchy.
It was.
I would listen to Bob 93.3 while we were cutting grass, and they would play it all the time. Also G105 and stuff like that. And it was just a really, really catchy song. But again, it was boy band. So you can't, you know, as a 13-year-old, you couldn't like this song. So, but I would sing along in my head, and you know, I did not have the album.
Okay.
I cannot claim to have the album, but this song actually kind of came back to me a couple of years ago. Brooklyn Nine-Nine had a like an opening scene where I've never really seen the show, but it's hilarious what I have seen of it. It's a police station in Brooklyn, and one of the cops was interviewing a witness who there was some kind of crime, and he's like, well, you know, can you tell me anything about it? He's like, I just, you know, he was humming a song. What was the song? It was I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. Okay. He's like, okay, I got this. And he has the 5 suspects behind the glass. He's like, number 1, can you please sing the first line from I Want It That Way? And the guy's like, okay. And so sings the line. He's like, okay, number 2, keep it going. And then number 3, number 4, and then number 5. And then he's like, and they all start singing in like unison. It's really hilarious. And he's like, man, that was awesome. That was magic. And the woman's like, it was number 5. Number 5 killed my brother. He's like, oh yeah, we're still doing that. Okay. That kind of brought it back to me. And it's just super, super catchy, beautifully sang, and I enjoy singing it. So it's my number 1, Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way.
For those of you joining in right now on the Facebook Live, we are talking about favorite
guilty pleasure songs.
So songs that you love, but you kind of hate.
You were kind of ashamed to admit. Yeah.
So that's what we're doing today.
We are breaking our shame here, and we're admitting, you know, songs that we enjoyed when
we're coming out of our shell.
Yes. Like the Turtles last week.
And yes.
Yeah.
And they're on musical.
Yes, that's right. I was going to ask about that last week if you'd ever saw it. But
I have it on VHS. I went to the concert.
I went to the concert too.
I had a band.
Maybe we were there.
We could have been.
Woo! We probably need to wash our hands.
It's okay.
Oh no. Number 2.
Either way. Number 2. That's how this song starts. Bop doops bop bop boo bop say bop 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 boo. That's fun to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like scat, like skillet bop 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 bop. I just imagine that's how it started. Like when I was just doing it, hey, what did you just do right there? And he's like, I'm bopping, and he's like, okay, cool, we bop. Yeah, either way.
This was Hanson, right?
Hanson. I was in 5th grade when this song came out. I remember all the girls loved it, so that meant I had to hate it because I was a guy, and that's how things were seen back then. It would, you know, you couldn't like things like that. Well, I'm here to break down the stereotypes.
Break it down.
Break it down. I didn't like it then, but it's one of those things that it just grew on me. And plus the fact that I had a sister that's 5 years older than me, so anything that she liked, I listened to all the time, no matter if I liked it or not. So that just instilled in me, okay, of course I like this song, I guess. I wouldn't ever admit it, but now, like in the past 10 years, that song comes on, I'm not turning it off. Like, I will jam along with it.
Right.
I don't know the words enough to not.
I don't know the words at all other than bop.
That's all that matters. It's that catchy chorus.
Ba-da-ba-ba, bop, 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 yeah, yeah.
That's all you need to know.
I remember being like, I don't know if super jealous of this group. I just remember not liking them because they had the long hair and like they were 3 brothers, and like the youngest one was the drummer, and they were like just super successful. I'm thinking, oh, they're so stupid, but probably thinking deep down like, man, I wish I had the long hair and I could play.
I feel like there's part of that like was instilled upon us, not necessarily from our parents. I won't put it all on them, but just like the era we grew up in, or just the way we grew up, where it's like, well, why they got girl hair? It's just
exactly
blah blah blah.
Well, exactly. Like my dad was a military man. I couldn't grow my hair out.
No.
I mean,
my mom wouldn't let me have long hair.
The fact that I had as much thick hair as I did when I was in high school, like, was a miracle because my dad wanted me to trim it short.
Well, the funny thing is, I hated them for being 3 long blonde-haired dudes. To literally the next year loving Kurt Cobain, that was a long blonde-headed dude.
Right.
So I don't know. Either way, like, I'm glad to be able to step out of some bounds, I guess, and just say,
definitely,
hey, this is what I enjoyed. Tim said we went from mbop to I'm the scat man real fast.
Well, that's just how it goes, Tim.
Tim, you better buckle in.
You better, because we're about
put the brakes on that wheelchair. You ain't gonna roll out of here.
We are taking you on a ride.
I love how Eric's like, oh wait, real quick, what am I looking up? Oh, you're looking up how the song goes.
No, I'm looking up one particular part of the song. You haven't asked me what my number 2 is yet, so
I read it on your list because I was like,
yeah, I read your list earlier too. So.
Yeah, I was thinking whenever, just to go ahead and cover them because they're not on your list either, but NSYNC.
Yes.
The same way that
For some reason, sorry, I felt like NSYNC had a better reputation amongst the boy bands. Like they still weren't like
you liked.
Like they still weren't like the most popular amongst the guys, but I felt like they at least had respect. Like I remember in 8th grade. Here's a fun story, everybody. In 8th grade, there was only 4 boys in our block. We had myself, Josh Sherrod, Alex Winders, and Jerry Nairn. And we decided to be a group for a group project for our language arts, 8th grade, where we had to like repurpose a song or rewrite a song to reflect a historical event. And Alex, love him. He was one of my best friends, and he had this wonderful idea. Man, the girls love these boy bands. We need to do a boy band song. He's like,
he was thinking ahead of his
time. He was thinking well ahead of his time. And he's like, Creech, you start busting out some moves. Jerry, Josh, we got this. And so we went with NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. And
did you do the moves?
We did.
Nice.
But we had to reference a historical event. Well, the summer before, Mike Tyson bit off Evander Holyfield's ear. So we did Bite, Bite, Bite.
Oh, wow. That's good.
And it was awesome. We got 100. It was fantastic. I wish there was film of it somewhere.
We did something very similar.
Did you have page hair?
No, I want to say it was social studies. So it was either Pierre Bone in
7th grade. We did something similar.
You had your own country. And so you had to make up a national
anthem for the country. Yep.
Michael and I outruled whoever our partner was to do a national anthem based on the Korn song "Freak on a Leash." So we chose Cambodia as our country because that was the Limp Bizkit song.
Right.
And then we just made up new words and sang it over the top of "Freak on a Leash" by Korn.
Nice.
There was a part, I think, in that song it cuts, so we just got really loud instead of editing it out. But Mr. Bone didn't care.
Very cool. Anyway,
number 2.
My number 2. That wasn't even my number 2. So this song came out my first year teaching.
Okay.
And this was from, I believe, his first album.
Okay.
So here we go. You know you love me. I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. You are my love. You are my heart. And we will never, ever, ever be apart. We unite 'em. Don't quit playing. We're just friends, what are you saying? Said there's another, look right in my eyes. My first love broke my heart for the first time. And I was like, baby, baby, baby. Oh. Like, baby, baby, baby. Oh. It's up another note there.
That's as much as I'm giving.
Oh. Yeah, like
I
that.
Can't do that.
So
I just kept waiting. I don't think I've ever listened to that whole song. I just knew it said baby like 20 billion times.
Well, there's a great part.
I kept waiting for it.
So a couple of weeks ago, or like last month, when we had our character assembly, I usually play music for our 30-second dance-off that we have during the assembly. And I picked this song. And I picked the ludicrous part. And one of my coworkers, Allison Johnson, who was either watching or she shared our video a few minutes ago, she's a few years younger than me. She grew up in the era where she was probably like in high school when this song came out, or like late middle school, and she knew all the words. And she was digging the Bieber. She was digging the Bieber. This is Justin Bieber Baby, by the way. And he was like the equivalent of our boy bands for that generation, because he was the pretty boy who sang, and all the girls loved him, and all the guys like, oh, I hate Justin Bieber. Like, I got to see that in like the classes I would teach. Like, they were not, the gentlemen hated Bieber, and the girls absolutely loved him. And as a 23-year-old, right out of college guy who still hung out with all his friends from college and stuff, yeah, you're not jamming to this in the car. Okay, you're not putting this on your iPod mini and hooking it up to your CD player or whatever, or your little aux cable that hooks up to your car and jamming to this down I-40 or I-70 or I-95. You're just not doing it. But I thought this song really, 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 it was awesome. And Ludacris, who one of my favorite artists at the time, has the third verse or the bridge or whatever. And it was incredible. I'm going to try to do some of the ludicrous part. We're going back to my rapping days.
Go for
it. You remember the rapping
You're well
days?
known for your rapping
for my rapping. So,
not gift wrapping, folks.
At Christmas, I had Rickie wrap my presents because I couldn't. So, when I was 13, I had my first love. There was nobody that compared to my baby, and nobody can prove I can't do it. I mean, that's so fast, I can't do it. So
you can do it. You're just a little rusty.
So yeah, but it was really, really good. So. That's the one part that would get me tongue tripped, and now she had me going crazy. Yo, I was starstruck. She woke me up daily. Don't need no Starbucks.
I need Starbucks.
I probably should be ashamed still.
Don't be
like
ashamed.
that song, but it's my number 2. Baby by
This is
Justin
what this
Bieber.
is about. Guilty pleasure songs. You get it out there. Don't you be scared.
What's your number 3, boss man?
Well, somebody once told me.
Oh,
we're wrong.
Is this really a guilty pleasure song?
And I'm not the sharpest one. Yes.
Is this really a guilty
Yes.
pleasure song?
Yeah, it is. And All Star by Smash Mouth really is a guilty pleasure song because when it first came out, it was really popular. And I loved it then. So it wasn't a guilty pleasure then. It's more so now.
It's a bop.
A lot of people, well, first off, it came out for the movie Mystery Men. The whole music video was Mystery Men. And I remember loving that too because you didn't have like superhero movies back then the way that, we do now. So just seeing, superhero movies or superheroes in the movie was awesome. Sure, the movie wasn't like the greatest ever or anything, but they were in there, the whole music videos about that. And so I just loved it. But plus the song's just like catchy as crap. Like,
it is very catchy.
To the point that it went on to be in Trick. And then it's been in all billion other things at this point. But, and I feel like now it's come like full circle where like it's kind of made fun of. Like it's used as a joke. It's not quite made it to like Rick Roll status. But it's still more of a.
That's a great way to describe it. It's this generation's Rickroll in a way.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, a Rickroll is that used to be something where someone would send you a link like, I can't believe what would happen next.
It still happens.
And it still happens now, and you would click on it, and it would be Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. Mm-hmm. Never Gonna Give, Never Gonna Give.
So, for me though, like I just actually enjoy the song. Like I will literally, I think I played it this morning. Like I picked a 90s like playlist while I was in the shower this morning, and it came on. It was one of the first ones. I was like, heck yeah, time to get in the shower.
Yep.
But I don't know, just fun one. Like I said, it's not so much guilty pleasure then, but just now where most people just consider it a joke. I just actually enjoyed it. So.
Fair enough. I like it. It's a good song. We would sing it all the time in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm. I'll still sing it now.
Yeah, I would.
You ain't stopping me.
All right. Hey now.
Hey,
you're an all-star.
Get your game on.
Go
play it. That happens now. Like you randomly just walk in. Like I told somebody that the other day. I was like, "Hey," they're like, "What?" I was like, "You're an all-star. Get your game on." And then I just walked away.
The world is gonna roll me.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Fun times.
Fun times.
Number 3 for you, good sir.
This is the first of 3 female artists represented on my list. This song was one of the first songs after her Disney career had come close to an end. Mm-hmm. This is Miley Cyrus, aka Hannah Montana. Mm-hmm. Party in the USA.
I enjoy that one.
I love this song.
That's a great song.
Like this is something that if it were, it's on the list because I remember being like on a youth trip with some of our youth, and I turned it up like on the radio, and they're like, "No, this is terrible." It's like, what are you talking about? And I'm thinking,
you're the youth leader. You're not supposed to be showing us this. Casting crowns, please, please.
Hey, don't mock the casting crowns, okay? Let's play some more Hillsong. Anyway, like in my head, I'm picturing like this is before this movie came up, but like something like where in Pitch Perfect, one person starts singing.
I was wondering if you just got your youth trip confused. Perfect.
And then someone else would jump in, and then they all bust out by the time you got to the chorus.
Mm-hmm. You just had a bunch of little whining teenagers.
Yeah, they didn't want to listen to Miley Cyrus, which is terrible. But yeah, so sometimes you just got to put your hands up, playing our song, the butterflies fly away. Nodding my head like yeah, moving my hips like yeah. Put your hands up, play my song, you know it's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's a party in the USA.
I hit my head on my microphone.
Yeah, I saw.
If you heard the thud, that was it, folks.
If you heard like any creaking, that was me moving my hips. Like, yeah.
That was just my chair.
So yeah, Miley Cyrus Party in the USA is my number 3.
Nice.
Number 4.
This one is not so much a song, but it's an artist. But I didn't mean to make things so complicated, but I used to be a skater boy.
Yes!
So I chose Avril Lavigne as my number 4.
Oh, I love Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne is...
Especially her early stuff.
Okay. What Britney Spears for me in 6th grade was, Avril Lavigne was for me my whole high school.
Yes.
I thought she was the hottest thing in the world. Not to, like, just put her whatever bad words are, but, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
The baddest.
Like, not to be, like... I don't know, not to be saying
Remember, we're a family show.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, it's not me just, like, gawking at her, but I just had a crush on her.
She was pretty.
Like, I thought,
And she wasn't your atypical, Barbie doll.
No, I was a punk dude, or somewhat-ish anyway. And so for her to come out and be famous for, like, stuff like that, like, I was all about it. And so, like, I thought that, it was the greatest thing. Like, I loved all her songs, had her album, had all
have to make things so complicated.
I did. But I picked 2 songs. I Miss You is a great song. It's emotional about her granddad passing away. And then Why is another song that was, like, on a single, like, acoustic song. Both of them are emotional. Both of them, as a dude, people would be like, you shouldn't, why are you so emotional? Blah, 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 blah. Shut your stereotype
up. That's
up.
right.
Shut it up.
Go hide those. Yeah.
All one word. Shut your stereotypes up.
That's our new shirt.
That's 2 shirts if we want to. But,
they're like a part 1 and a part 2.
Yes. But I don't know. I just always liked her stuff. I know as I grew older, like especially people like in high school, nobody cared that I liked her, because everybody did. But then, she's not really punk. She's not really this. She's just, whatever a record company made her to be and blah, blah, blah. I get it, folks. I know, like, she's not, the Distillers. I love the Distillers as well. That's when I realized that there was, like, you had Brody versus her. There was, like, 2 totally different, like, things. But either way, I'd still, even to this day, like, when you go back and listen to her stuff, I just put it on play at work today. Because I was like, that's who my number 4 is. Because most people now would be like, oh, Avril Lavigne. And I'm like, no, that's what I'm listening to. And you can shut your face.
That's right.
That's what guilty pleasure songs are about, folks.
That's right.
Shut your face.
That's right.
You want to come in?
Hello,
talk crap.
Addison Moore.
I went to college with Addison. You know what a great song for Addison would like? We used to sing it in class.
Okay.
Dollar Dollar Bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Because he would do it in this almost like an octave or opera voice.
Mm-hmm.
He would just all of a sudden, right in the middle of the class, like, I'ma tell you like who told me. And then we would just sing back and forth across the classroom. Because cash ruled everything around us.
Cash ruled everything.
Especially in college.
It's all about the dollar bill, y'all.
Mm-hmm. At one point, he was going to become a funeral home owner because it made more money than graphic design. And I don't think he did that.
Yeah.
Either way. Number 4 for you.
Number 4. This one came out in 2012.
Okay.
This is Carly Rae Jepsen. And Call Me Maybe. And this song bops.
I had no clue who that person was, but I know the song.
Yeah. This was her first single. And
I Just Met You.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
I don't even know your number.
Yeah, you don't know my number?
I don't.
I don't know yours either, to be honest
with you. It's programmed in my phone.
It's programmed in my phone too, but I just, we don't really call each other.
That's the world we live in, folks.
Yeah.
Don't know people's numbers anymore.
No, not anymore.
So is this song still relevant?
Well, is it still relevant? Yeah, absolutely, because, if you want to
still have phones.
If you want to text, like, not just like Facebook message or Instagram, not just DMs.
You got to get the initial number.
Yeah,
anyway.
You got to give them the number so they can contact you via texting as well. So
Call Me Maybe.
It absolutely is relative. So, but yeah, this song came out in 2012. I was in my 2nd or 3rd year teaching, and again, it's another one of those songs that all the little girls loved it and all the little boys hated it, and I thought they were stupid. I thought,
no, that's a good one.
This is a great song. It bops, and I still think it's one of her better songs. She has some really good stuff out there.
I don't have anything else by her.
She
I do. I didn't know.
She has some really good stuff out there. I would definitely advise you to go check out some of her stuff in the past couple of years. But yeah, Call Me Maybe, my number 4.
Nice. My number 5, my final for the list. I kind of did the same way as I did my number 4. Don't be cheating. Don't be looking over here.
I've already seen it.
Don't be looking over here.
I've already seen it.
Now...
You're looking at mine.
I was making sure NSYNC wasn't on your list earlier, so whenever I can make that reference. This one is another group that honestly now is probably not very popular for you to say that you like this group.
They were the Nickelback of our time.
No, because Nickelback existed at the same time.
This is true.
Nickelback can go burn by itself. But Creed was a band that was huge, and I really liked them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, at some point, they took a harsh turn where everybody hated them.
Yeah.
It was around the time though. Like
My Sacrifice album wasn't very good.
Oh come on! It was the album after that, or at least
it was the album after that.
That was the turning
point.
The
2002 album was the turning point, and then it all went.
My Sacrifice was in our high school years, and then it kind of turned all around that time because around that time there was supposed to be like a Christian-ish group, and then Scott Stapp was like passing out drunk on stage and drunk.
Yeah.
So like the world kind of turned, and we're like, oh, who are you? You know, blah blah blah. But and then at some point he just kind of vanished, and then they found Nickelback to hate, and they've been doing it ever since. But then I remember like he came back, like Scott Stapp was doing a tour by himself, like in smaller bars and stuff. The event, he was coming to Raleigh, and the event was like sold out. Like there were so many people responding. It's the comments I think scared him away.
Wow.
It wasn't this. I don't know if it had been a safe place for him, but it was not the fact that they loved him, but everybody in the comments was like
practicing a social distancing before it was cool.
So nobody was like threatening his life, but he kind of realized the people that were going to be there really weren't there.
They weren't there to support him.
They weren't necessarily there for fans. But I guarantee you, there's like probably 78% of that. That's a good solid number right there. For people that really actually did like him, they just wanted to joke and pretend not to like him. Because I used to be the same way. I didn't like, I pretended to hate Creed, but then if a song came on, I wouldn't turn it off. I went and saw Creed in concert in high school.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's one of those things now. You probably still hate them. If you do, that's fine. They're not Nickelback. It's okay to people hate Nickelback and they truly hate Nickelback. But,
Ashby.
People listen to Creed and probably still actually like Creed.
So what songs did you have on your list?
With Arms Wide Open is the one that hit.
Yeah, that was their big hit.
Higher bothered me because he was wearing like a leather shirt or leather pants too, and it just seemed uncomfortable.
They had a great hit on the Scream 3 soundtrack called What If?
Yes.
And that one, like...
The whole music video.
The whole music video, yeah, absolutely. The first one, With Arms Wide Open. I actually did a recording of that in Virginia back in 2003.
Where's that at?
King's Dominion.
Oh, is that the one?
No, this is a separate one.
I was about to say, Michael had me ask you, sometime in the past
year. When the Kid Rock picture and Toby Keeps Beer for My Horses. That was in the summer of 03. Then later that summer, like in the late August, our church went to King's Dominion and they had one of those booths, and I was asked to go do 2 more songs like you did in the Young Disciples trip. So I did that one and Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places. So
why aren't we still doing this? This should be a monthly Eric Creech thing. Rickie has green screen capabilities. We can just put a cheap green screen behind us, and we'll just put the same way those music videos do, where they'll put some cheesy you'll be on an island somewhere singing "What If."
But it wasn't video; it was just audio. So
we still should do. We need video of this.
Yeah,
it's too good. The world's advanced now.
Here's the thing: we're doing this now on Tuesday nights anyway. We're playing 3 songs for Facebook Live on Tuesday nights. I don't think it is though.
No, because you're not cheesing it. You're a full blown performance in front of a green screen. So you're on some random island in the background that's very cheesy, almost blurry.
There's another one, and I don't have any of these CDs left, but there was another one where we did Kenny Chesney and Uncle Cracker's When the Sun Goes Down. Mm-hmm. That one would be perfect for the island theme. So
well, no, because that'd make too much sense. You'd have to find you'd be in space during that one. Because these random things, that's how stuff like that. You were standing on the outside while you were singing. Everybody else is watching. I'm
gonna be honest,
on the green screen.
I'm not super proud of a lot of these. The picture one though, with Kid Rock Sheryl Crow that I did with Ashley Stallings. Mm-hmm. I thought we did a pretty good job of that one.
Well, it's time to reunite it. So, what's she up to now?
She's married and living in Florida with 2 kids. So.
Actually, what you're doing is time.
I saw her brother and her mom and dad were at the at our Searching for Solace show last month.
It's time to put the picture away.
So, get the reunion back on. The 17-year reunion tour. So.
I'm excited for this.
Actually, 18-year.
We can make this happen, folks.
We'll see. My number 5.
Number 5.
All right, this is my last entry. This is Taylor Swift, You Belong With Me. And
that's a good one, actually.
I thought it was a really, really good song. But again, this is during the time when Taylor Swift was coming out and she was doing her pop country stuff. It wasn't cool to like Taylor Swift then. So,
sorry to skip over you. What does that say?
One of the graduating classes had Arms Wide Open as their senior song. I thought it was so weird.
Oh.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Our North Johnson one was all Good Riddance.
Yeah, except for Freebird. It was Good Riddance in 03. Mm-hmm. I think it was Good Riddance in 02, 03, and 05.
We had
It was Freebird in 04. Because, we had the break trick. I voted for Good Riddance, I think. I know a lot of people voted for Getting Down on the Farm.
I voted for Stained.
It's been a while.
No, now that you're here, we're so far away. That
would have made more sense. That would have made a lot more sense.
Anyway, back to Taylor Swift.
Anyway,
Sorry.
But yeah, I just really liked this song. I liked a lot of, stuff that, just wasn't...
Dudes weren't supposed to like it.
Apparently.
You were rebellious.
I was rebellious.
You didn't have your long hair because your dad kept it short.
Kept it short, but I enjoyed this song.
Dad, if you only knew what was on these headphones right now.
But yeah, Taylor Swift, You Belong With Me is my number 5. I do have an honorable mention, and I left it off my list, one, because I didn't want to incur your wrath.
Is it Nickelback?
It is a Nickelback song.
It is what it is. You can like what you like. This is guilty pleasures. I can't fuss at you for liking
it. It is the one Nickelback song that I probably still.
Please just tell me it's not Photograph or Rockstar.
It's not Photograph.
You're kidding me that it's Rockstar. Yeah. That's the song that made me stop liking Nickelback.
It's the perfect guilty pleasure song. Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses driving 15 cars.
I don't want to hear that, folks. Don't even want to hear it. Which is bad though, because I just took my headphones off. He's sitting right next to me. So I still hear him no matter what.
That would be my honorable mention, Nickelback Rockstar. It's the one song that I still kind of like. So.
I'm disappointed in you.
I know. I didn't want to incur your wrath.
I feel worse sitting this close to you now because of that. Coronavirus can go do its thing. I don't care, but I mean, we're almost touching and you're singing Nickelback.
Whatever.
Especially that. If you would have taken Photograph, I could have dealt with Photograph. But I couldn't have done that.
Whatever. Do we have any social media shout-outs?
We actually do, but we're using my iPad and my phone for all this recorded stuff. So you got to find it.
Oh, okay. I know Chris Rode had a massive...
Chris Rode is awesome with this because the fact he has a guilty pleasure
playlist. Puts up playlist for us.
And he didn't create it. Like, he already had it.
What does that say?
It's trying to... Your iPad or something was trying to connect to the computer we're recording on.
All right, so here's Chris Rhodes' playlist.
And it's not even the full one, I don't think.
He says, once again, I have a playlist for this, and I will give you my top 15 in no particular order because I was doing the list and couldn't settle on 10. Mm-hmm. The top 2 were already on our list.
Okay.
Baby, Justin Bieber.
Okay.
I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys. Mm-hmm. Dark Horse by Katy Perry.
I love a lot of Katy Perry stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't make my list, but there's a lot of stuff I've heard.
I think by the time I got into Katy Perry, I just didn't care what people thought anymore, so I was fine with liking Katy Perry.
Toxic, Britney Spears, we mentioned it earlier. Hips Don't Lie by Shakira and Wyclef Jean.
That's John.
John, excuse me. Did I call him Jean?
You
John.
did.
Wyclef John. My hips don't lie, neither do my senses.
Mm-hmm.
Yours does.
Mine does. It doesn't lie, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. We Got the Party by Hannah Montana. Mm-hmm. We Like to Party by the Venga Boys. Never heard of them. YMCA by the Village People. She's So High by Tal Bachman.
Why is he ashamed of that song?
That's
a good one. That shouldn't be on your guilty list.
Why is number 10 on this? I
thought the same thing.
I Believe in a Thing Called Love is like a really good song.
I think it's fact too. Like back then, Chris would sing that song, and he gets way up here.
I believe in a thing called love, just a little bit of my heart.
Yeah, Chris would sing that nonstop, like all the time.
I believe in a thing called love.
He also loved. What's the name of that song? By Styx.
Yeah.
Man, what's the name of that song?
I don't know.
Sail Away. That was his other song he sang all the time.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed, Chris.
Number 11, If You're Not the One, by Daniel Bedingfield. Pop by NSYNC, which, again, I thought was a good song.
Chris.
That whole album, that third NSYNC album, is really, really good. The Celebrity album. Cotton Eye Joe by Rednecks.
That's a great one.
That's a great one.
I wouldn't be ashamed of that either, Chris.
Wannabe by Spice Girls. Don't tell me what you want. Yeah, that's a good song, too. Believe by Cher. That one, okay.
But to be truthful, though, that's probably around that same time in middle school when I started listening to it. So that is a song from my summer, though.
Yes.
I remember watching that music video at Hunter Batman's house.
Yes. Ashby Brame said Bop and Lucky by Britney Spears. Lucky was on that second Britney Spears album that we mentioned earlier. I feel like we had some more, but...
Yeah, you're just looking at most recent. So we need
all the comments. All comments. Wait for it. Maybe
that was it. I also posted it on my personal page.
Ashley Blood, she had said, "Don't Stop Believing."
I think that was on my personal.
That was on your personal page.
Hit to my page because I feel like some other people commented.
Don't want to go to your page.
Too bad. Ugh. While you're doing that, I asked people at work today. There was a lot of songs that
here we go.
I won't necessarily mention all of them. Christy Barbie mentioned Waterfalls by TLC, and I was like, you should never be ashamed.
No, Waterfalls was great.
I had to re-explain Guilty Pleasures there because I was like, no, there's no way you're ashamed of that song.
Yeah, I mean, she's not sticking to the rivers and the lakes that she's used to.
No, but some other people like Juvenile and some of those other artists, they made the list.
So yeah, Ashley Blood, Don't Stop Believing. Project RNL, Hansonian Rhapsody. I don't know what that is.
Jeremy Thompson.
Yep. Pretty much anything. Lady Gaga, Randall Earl Bullard. Hunter Batten said the Backstreet Boys, LOL. RJ Jeffcoat, that Havana song that is now the theme for this virus in my head, the Corona Nana.
No.
Yep. Daniel Taylor, Backstreet Boys, Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Rock your body, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah. Rock your body right. Backstreet's back, alright!
Alright.
And then Steve Evans said, Donald Lewis, I love you always, forever. And then let me go to your gram, because I'm pretty sure you put it on the gram.
I did. I'm not sure if people respond on the gram this time or not.
Well, we'll
I posted it yesterday instead of today, but I just want to give you folks some extra time. Not on mine. I didn't put it on mine.
You didn't put it on yours?
Put it on the what.
What the what? I'm not.
Speaking of, folks, if you're not following us on social media, join in so that way you can be commenting on these things in the future.
Yeah, we're what media? All one word.
All one word.
Nope, no comments on the gram. So thank you for all of you who commented this week. And we're appreciating all of you who joined us for this episode. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, those of you watching on Facebook Live. We hope you enjoyed this discussion as much as we did.
Yep.
And that you're as pumped for the rest of our journey into pop culture as we are. That's
another great song.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's not a guilty pleasure song. Next week, we are discussing a Goofy movie. Which I believe,
next week?
That's next week. I believe it came out 25 years ago. And so I have a week to watch it.
You know what came out today? As in the day that this podcast premieres, Monday, 3:30.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 film. Yep. So go back and listen to that one from last week. Tim, if you're still watching on Facebook Live, you want to get a researcher credit, go research a Goofy movie for us and email us. Please.
Don't let Eric have it until he's seen it, though.
I'm going to watch it at some point this week.
He'll just take your facts and not watch the movie. And he needs to see this movie. He needs to know the majestic, abilities of Powerline.
No one's watching anymore. Anyway,
they're gonna know. It doesn't matter about watching. They're gonna hear, see, probably even smell it. Leaning Tower of Cheesa. You're gonna know all about it.
Yes. Anyway, until next time, stay as cool as the other side of the pillow. Make sure you keep your 6 feet from each other. Wash those hands, and we will see you next week on the What the What podcast. Bye.
What the what?